Hey guys, what's up? This is Frank from MTG Unlimited, and today I'll be going through a White Weenie Standard deck tech. So there's been some recent posts in the comments of some of our videos that have been pushing for me to do a White Weenie deck tech. So here it is. It's kind of a spin-off of Craig Wesco's White Weenie deck that he played at Grand Prix Chicago in 2014. This deck tries to get out tons of creatures as quickly as possible, protects them with things like Brave the Elements, and also removes your opponent's creatures with things like Banisher Priest and Banishing Light. This deck is very aggressive, it's very quick, and it just basically tries to bring your opponent to zero as quickly as possible before they can do anything about it. This deck is very heavily influenced by Craig Wesco. He's a well-known White Weenie player. He always finds an excuse to play White Weenie. It's his favorite type of deck, and I personally think it's a great deck too. So let's get into the cards here. Up first, you can see Banisher Priest. This is a 3-drop 2/2, which on its own isn't super great, but its ability that when it enters the battlefield, you exile target creature your opponent controls. It's just absolutely fantastic. It gets rid of a lot of things, and it just also allows Banisher Priest to swing as a creature, assuming that they have no more creatures out. Just great overall, has great synergy with things like Warden of the Beyond, which I will talk about later. Up next, you can see Boros Elite, 1-drop 1/1, pretty good, just gets us coming right out of the gate, gets creatures out right away. It also has a Battalion ability that enables it to become a 3/3 when swinging with 2 other creatures. This will generally happen as early as turn 2, but most likely by turn 3. It's just great overall, and I really like it. So up next, you can see Brimaz, King of Oreskos. Just a 3-drop from Born of the Gods. It's a 3/4. Absolutely fantastic. It's just a great card overall, and it gets out lots of cat tokens. It also has Vigilance, so it can swing and block in like 2 turns in a row. It gets out ridiculous amounts of cats, and it's also it avoids things like Lightning Strike and Bio Blight, since it is a 3/4. It's just great overall in the meta. Up next, you can see Cavalry Pegasus. This is a 2-drop 1/1 flyer. It also gives other human creatures flying when it attacks. Just absolutely fantastic for this deck. This deck plays tons of humans. Giving them all flying is something that your opponent just cannot deal with. They have to either board wipe or just remove all of them individually. It's really difficult, and it allows tons of damage to get through. The next card you'll see is Precinct Captain. 2-drop 2/2 first strike. And his ability is really good. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you put out a 1/1 soldier. It's just absolutely fantastic. This card has been pretty much a staple of White Weenie decks ever since Return to Ravnica came out. It's very good in this deck, and it comes out on turn 2, which is fantastic. I really like playing this guy as a 4-of. Up next, you can see Soldier of the Pantheon. It's a 1-drop 2/1. It has protection from multicolored, and whenever an opponent casts a multicolored spell, you gain 1 life. So there's a lot of multicolored decks in the metagame right now. Things like Jund, Golgari, Gruul, Azorius, America, all of those color combos are definitely heavily played in the meta. This guy can allow you to gain tons of life. He's invulnerable to a lot of different spells like Detention Sphere and things like that. Warden of the Beyond, this is the card I was talking about from M15. 3-drop 2/2 with Vigilance, already pretty good. However, his ability that gives him +2/+2 as long as an opponent owns the card in exile is absolutely fantastic. By the time you play him, you most likely you're going to play him on turn 4 after playing a Banishing Light or a Banisher Priest. He's already a 4/4, which is just absolutely fantastic. Just a great card for this deck. Up next is Banishing Light. 3-drop enchantment that basically removes anything on the battlefield that you choose. It's absolutely fantastic. It's great spot removal. A lot of decks, things like Junk, mid-range, Junk Constellation, Azorius decks, they all play Banishing Light. It's absolutely fantastic for removal. It's just a great addition from Journey into Nyx. Up next, you guys can see Brave the Elements. This is a great card for this deck. As a 1-drop, it's already really easy to play. It gives all white creatures you control pro color of your choice. This is a great response to things like Bile-Blight, any sort of removal like Banishing Light or Doomblade, anything like that, Hero's Downfall. It's pretty much a great response to anything like that. It doesn't get rid of things like Supreme Verdict, however, it is still great for this deck. Next, you'll see Ajani Steadfast. This is also another addition from M15. He has a great +1 ability. Just lets you gain life, swing in for tons of damage, just things like that. His -2 is also very good. Gets +1/+1 counters on all your creatures, which is absolutely fantastic for this deck. He is at the high end of the curve, but since he is so good, I'm playing him as a 3-of with another in the sideboard. Up next, you can see Gideon, Champion of Justice. To most, this might seem a little out of place. It's a 4-drop, and it takes a while to get going. But there's a lot of decks that are very heavily creature-based in the metagame. Gideon can get big quickly and swing in for tons of damage on his own. Also, his ultimate is just there in case you need to use it. It's just great overall. So I just like to take this time to talk about the sideboard. You can see Pithing Needle is in there as a 2-of. Pretty much just gets rid of Planeswalkers, anything with activated abilities, pretty self-explanatory. Another Banisher Priest to even out the playset. Side him in against heavily aggro decks. Next is Fiendslayer Paladin. Also just sideboard him in against black or red decks. Obviously very good there. Banishing Light, just another one to side in for more removal. Another Ajani, if in case you need to get more, more heavily creature-based turns, things like that. Basically, you just side him in if you need to get a lot more damage through. Same with Gideon, and then Return to the Ranks is there in case you're playing control decks to return most of your creatures back to play. Also, the mana base is just 18 planes and 4 Mutavaults. If you're having budget problems, you just don't put in the 4 Mutavaults and just put in 4 planes instead. It's a great alternative. So thanks for watching. If you guys could please like or subscribe, tell your friends about our channel. Thanks for the support, guys.